Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. Now for today's video, we've got a really exciting one for you. We're going to be welcoming the CEO of SurgePays to talk about their recently announced Q3 results. There's a lot to go through in today's presentation, but before we get into it, please take a second, hit the like button, you guys. It's a big help to myself and the channel. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to join. And let me know in the comment section below, number one, if you're currently holding shares of this company. Secondly, what you thought about earnings and your outlook for next year or 2024. Now with that being said, let's get into today's interview. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we've got Brian Cox. He's the chairman and CEO of SurgePays. They just came out with earnings. They've got a lot of really interesting things going on. So we wanted to welcome Brian to the channel and give us a bit of an update at what's going on in terms of this organization. So Brian, thanks so much for being here.
Hey Bryce, pleasure to be here. First time.
Right on, first of many. So for people who are maybe unfamiliar with the SurgePays stories, as you mentioned, this is your first visit. Can you give us a quick high-level intro on yourself and the company?
Sure, and I've been in the underbanked, underserved, let's call it the sector for 20 years now, primarily driving home value-based telecom products, which started as home telephone service, now is wireless, and really more commonly referred to as broadband because everybody has talk and text. You don't hear any more commercials talking about minutes and text messages anymore. It's all about broadband and gigs. But that's what I've done. We're based in the Southeast, but obviously we do business nationwide. We have a unique approach, go-to-market strategy. We utilize the convenience stores, bodegas, tiendas, those community stores, really the heartbeats of the underbanked communities that these folks depend on. We use those as our points of distribution for our products into these communities. And over the years, we built a software platform, which is now actually called the SurgePays platform, that is able to do transactions at the register. The clerk uses our platform to not only activate and take payments for our customers, but we're integrated with every prepaid wireless company out there, Boost, TracFone, Metro, PCS. So those 100 million customers out there can top up at the closest store to their house at a convenience for them. Also enables that store owner to make a little extra money and get that foot traffic. And we've also integrated quite a few other, let's call it essential products that help the underbanked. Debit card activation and reloading debit cards so they can have buying power of a credit card, gift cards, some other things out there that would help the underbanked. And for folks that are not real familiar with what the underbanked is, when I say that word, I'm referring to anybody that doesn't have access to traditional banking, which would be credit cards, checking account, and a lot of times it's folks that really have to stretch that dollar on the last few days of the month to make it through. So that's my target market. All of our money that we make is helping people become a little bit better off. We've always approached this market with that kind of mindset, with a mission, as opposed to just trying to go out there and make a dollar. If we can help that underbanked person, with these essential products and services, and we do it through that store owner, that independent owner operator, which helps strengthen his roots in the community and also strengthen his bottom line, we get the win-win, kind of the reciprocating synergy from that ultimately hits our bottom line. So that's our mission, that's our philosophy, and at a high level, that's SurgePays.
I love it. I actually have a background in telecom, and connectivity and communication are obviously so important these days and giving access to people who maybe otherwise wouldn't have it. The other thing I'll tell you, Brian, is I worked with the third-party retail distribution network, and it's a tough cookie to crack. So congratulations to you guys for getting in there and integrating in those local community stores that we know are so vital, as you mentioned. So the other thing that happened this week was Q3 numbers, and I took a look at them. It seems your strategy is paying off. Revenue looks really healthy. So can you talk to us a bit about the numbers that came out and some of the highlights in your opinion?
Sure. I think the highlights is that we're executing a plan that we laid out a couple of years ago. And even though sometimes, I think people in the microcap world have been a little bit snake charmed to look for certain things because most of the companies don't make money. So they're taught, don't look behind the curtain, which is, profitability and, normal entrepreneurship is the world I came from, where you had to make money to hit payroll on Friday. So I do bring that. I'm a little different than your average CEO. I do want to make money. And when we make make it, I want to squeeze it and make that dollar turn into two. I do have a little bit different mindset here, and we did come to the public market and NASDAQ to elevate ourselves from micro cap to small cap. So we're taking those steps right now. The third quarter was a great example of the profitability margins built in our products. And when you focus on certain factors of your business, like for example, last year, it was a little bit of a land grab. So we broke even, may have lost a few bucks, net income wise, GAAP accounting, all that fun stuff that I let our CFO handle, but we accomplished a purpose. The next season was, okay, let's prove out our margins. Let's take this land grab that we did. And while that land grab was primarily in the wireless world, particularly government subsidized folks who qualified for subsidized wireless, let's utilize this program that we're licensed by the FCC to provide to take that. And, we were going direct to consumers. Now let's use this program knowing that 20% of all the transactions at a convenience store in a low-income neighborhood go through SNAP, EBT, WIC, all government subsidized programs. Let's use this program as a fantastic sales pitch to get our foot in the door with these store owners. And you talked about the nut to crack. You're right. It's hard to go into an owner-operator store and get him to give you his ID, business license, sales and use form, and his checking account information. And oh, by the way, we're just going to start ACHing you when you take payments. And you don't know me. That's a tough one for our sales guys. But when they can come in and go, hey, Bryce, I see that sticker on your door where you guys accept food stamps, EBT here. Hey, every one of those people that pull out that card qualify for free wireless service from the government. Man, I'd love to set your store up as a hub for folks that we can get them signed up, help them out. Hey, you'll be able to make money, get that foot traffic. And oh, by the way, that same platform that your clerks will have at the computer, that the register will have a 10-inch LCD screen where we can promote these products. And oh, by the way, we're launching our own prepaid wireless product that will compete with Boost and TracFone. It'll be about $10 less because we own the platform that's doing the transaction. I'm actually going to be able to pay you a higher commission than any of those other guys. And also, hey, that same platform can load debit cards, do all kinds of great things to help your customers. You can be the tech hub, the quasi-bank for your underbanked neighborhood, and have those guys come here, depend on you, and grab a bag of Doritos and a Red Bull on the way out. So that's the pitch, and that's why it's working, and that's why we actually had a little bit of a summit here in Memphis this week where I had 15 of my guys, primarily sales guys, in our hierarchy of leadership, working on how, we got, about 45 days left in the year. And then quarter one, quarter two, who we are, what we're doing, and where we're going, and how fast we're going to get there. So that's our pitch. That's our go-to-market strategy. It's working. We're hiring. Man, we're hiring, right now just to keep up with the incoming, we call it onboarding stores, which, I think the metric for our company will, as people start to see our financials, because they always tell me now, hey, you are what makes money. So, you can say all these other things, but hey, streamline your company, make it very simple. Hey, you've got your telecom revenue, you've got government subsidized, non-government subsidized. Then you got your fintech revenue where you got your consumer that doesn't have the ability to pay a company for their services because they don't have a checking account, don't have a credit card. You enable that transaction, you're the facilitator. It's a lower margin, but man, that helps those customers. And you take those two things to the store, you can get that store owner to sign exclusivity that you're their prepaid guy, you're their underbanked company. And the cool thing is, you talk about the tough nut to crack. I'll tell you one other thing about the macroeconomic effect. Number one, our market is expanding. Number one, there's more people that are getting in that tight month, too much month, not enough money type mindset. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, hey, I don't wish ill on anybody, but we're there to help. We offer these products and services lower than other people because we have economies of scale and a competitive advantage. But the other thing that's really interesting is because interest rates are so high, these owner-operator, these stores that have inventory, they operate on pretty tight margins at the convenience store level using lines of credit for inventory. So when interest rates are double what they were 3 years ago, I mean, that costs them money that goes to their family and kids and folks are taken care of. So when we come in and go, hey, Bryce, look, not going to cost you a dime. And the first dollar you take is the first dollar you keep. It's all transactional. You're helping your customers. There's no inventory, no out of pocket. You're going to be making, 5 to 15% per transaction, giving these consumers a great way to pay their bills. And when you activate our products, you're going to make a whole lot more than that when they come in and pay. So it's a great opportunity for us to put roots into that store, which then kind of by proxy puts roots into the community. And then the upsell begins of all the other products we can bring later. Yeah, no, it's there's definitely a business model to go into these communities. And the way I always tell my guys, think of it as the digital railroad. These convenience stores are the depot. We drop off our products and go to the next town, So that's why, I challenge my guys. I want, over 35, 40,000 stores by the end of next year. We put a huge revenue number out there that I'm going to drive the guys to go get. And, one of the other things that we've done with the profitability, I mean, look, we were over 7 million net income for Q3. We've paid off all of our debt pretty much other than me. I put 7 million in to get us to NASDAQ. I think the company owes me about 4.5 now. That's fine. It's not going to change what I ate for dinner. My goals here as the largest shareholder, my goals are, exponentially more, a few more zeros in my net when I got into this. So, I'm uniquely positioned as the largest shareholder. So I sit on the shareholders side of the table as well. And it factors into every decision I make. I'm not a hired gun CEO. I want the market cap. I want the price per share to increase. I'm doing the things that, I think make us stronger for that. Sometimes in the short term, people may be confused by what we do. If we tap the brakes on certain things that are losing money, if we carve out companies that are not a part of the central messaging. But when you look at it now, I don't have to kiss anybody's ring. We control our own destiny. We do things on our terms. We get to pick our friends. Pick the folks that we want. As we start talking to institutions who want to take positions in our company, we can do things on our terms. And we know that there's steps. We've studied a lot of the things that we need to do to elevate from micro cap to small cap, and we're actively working on those now. And the cool thing is I've been able to bring in a fantastic team that is taking things off my plate so I can spend more time with folks like you and spreading the word about what we're doing and create awareness for SurgePays.
Yeah, I love that you're here to share the story, and I love the railroad analogy, which allows you to do the upsell, the cross-sell, and it's just deja vu listening to you talking about the training and the onboarding and the integration into the stores. But it seems whatever you're doing is really working. And one of the other things, in addition to the profitability, the revenue growth, was I know you were named as part of the fastest 500 growing companies or tech companies by Deloitte, I think for the fourth consecutive year. Is that a result of this strategy? Is it a result of the macro environment? Is it a combination of factors, or what do you think is attributing to that excessive growth we're seeing?
I think that it's the result of having a great team that executes a plan. I'm not going to take credit for that. I've got a great team. I have crazy ideas. Half of them are bonkers, and 15% of them are great. And I'm surrounding myself with really smart people that help me carve and navigate the bad ideas out, and then let's slam the gas pedal on the good ideas. So I think that it's that combination. I think it's a reflection of our market opportunity. Knowing that we haven't scratched, we're getting awards, and that's not the goal right now. The goal is not awards. The goal is to grow and make money. But it's nice for the team. Maybe a little bit more. I'm living 6 to 12 months down the road, so I'm not. That's cool for the team is validation for, hey, you're working in an exciting company that's growing, and your future is you've got a solid future with a growth company. So it is good for internal morale. But I think when you look at I keep stressing the market opportunity. We're the last frontier of all things in this country. When you look at data collection, when you look at being able to pin down a transient market that moves a lot, the thumbprint, the digital thumbprint of the underbanked, that third of the United States that's growing every day, that's our market. And what's unique, and sometimes it was really difficult for me at the first couple of years being a public company CEO, because I had to first create an awareness with potential shareholders of what the underbanked market even was, because by definition, most people that have expendable cash to invest in a stock are obviously very banked, and they don't hang out with people that are underbanked. They don't realize that across town, a third of the town struggles. They don't have credit cards. They don't have checking accounts. They get to the cash register. That's why those products are up there in front of the periodicals, because they didn't have enough money to buy all of them. That's our market. That's the people that we're driven, and our mission is to help. So I think when you look at that, and then you also factor in that, thank God we did have the foresight to realize that we need to make sure we can have bilingual support. We did, and I wasn't Nostradamus and had any idea that the immigration would be as much as it is, but I knew that that would be a component of the future of our country. So we, quite a few years ago, we went down to El Salvador, right down the street from a lot of the other big tech companies, and we set up an operations center. We have 150 bilingual folks down there. So we're primed and ready, and what's really awesome about, you talk about getting an award for growth. Well, we could have 1 million, 2 million subscribers on our wireless service and 50,000 convenience stores right now. I'd only need to add 20 or 30 more people. We've already built the infrastructure with the cubicles, with the generators, the fiber, all that stuff's already built, paid for. That was part of what you saw as the loss over the last 3 years. I always tried to tell people that, no, that's an investment in the plan. And furthermore, that loss was money I personally put in. We didn't go down the street like, oh man, I gotta talk to this guy every week who's going to try to drive us to be the company he wants us to be. Man, we're in control of our own destiny. We actually have both hands on the wheel. So I think it is a reflection of our team. It's a reflection of the discipline. Especially being the micro cap, we get told all the time all the shiny objects we should be chasing. So it is a little, and that's actually, one of the things that we messaged in Q3. Hey, I'm not afraid of making tough decisions, and I don't care what people say about me. We actually wound down operations for a company that even sitting by itself would have been a great micro cap. It was a profitable company that dealt with mass tort leads that had nothing to do with the underbanked. It was the legacy company I merged into 6 years ago when we took control of the public vehicle. I wanted to keep it, but I had so many people tell me, look, you're never going to be able to get the larger institution portfolio manager analysts to sign off on buying your stock when you have this fantastic story, an addressable market of underbanked wireless fintech going right at them, grassroots to the convenience store. And then, oh, by the way, you've got this, a couple $1 million a month over here that you're making in, Camp Lejeune and 3M earbuds and, all this legal stuff. They're not going to think you're serious about, they need to see a future valuation, and they need to look at a comp, and they can say, hey, you got these companies over here, your IDTs, PayPals, these type of companies. Hey, these guys are going a different way though. They're going grassroots. That's their niche, the distribution, the tough nut to crack, the one where when we get in and get that store, Bryce, like you said, you're not taking our store because we're providing them so many products. They're making great money. In addition to the fact that they can also provide free service to their customers through the government supported wireless service. We're the only fintech company that has that suite of products. So it enables us to go out now. You talk about growth. I hadn't seen nothing yet. Now we've built an M&A strategy based on the fact that we basically have no debt. We control the company. We're making money. What better way to sit back and go, okay, we've got two different ways. We got 3 ways to grow. Organically, keep doing what we're doing, which won us award as a fast growing company. That's organic. The M&A, we've got 2 ways on the M&A. Because we have a network of stores we distribute to, like you said, the railroad strategy, the digital railroad. Well, there's a lot of other smaller little railroads we can tap into. There's a lot of one-off product companies that have a network of 500 stores, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 stores. And it's very difficult now to afford to pay salespeople with gas and cost of living to go pull those doors like we all used to 20 years ago. My first job, I was pulling doors for a distribution company. Very difficult now to make the margins to do that. Well, those guys are kind of capped out. Those are fantastic opportunities for those to acquire those networks and then deploy our product suite, which has far more profitable products and the products they're already providing because we own a lot of our main products. So we have the much higher 50% margin type products. So you've got that. And then on the other hand, you've got product companies that don't have distribution. A lot of people out there, especially a lot of developer or engineer or IT minded guys, they've come up with some really good products that can help the underbanked. The problem is, just like I'm not a developer IT mind, I'm a sales mind, those guys don't have the sales mind. So they get to the point where they get these products and they've kind of run out of capital, and they don't have the guerrilla sales knowledge, and they got stuck a little bit. Hey, a great opportunity. I don't want to take anything from you. I want to bring you in, pull you under our tent. And then what we can be together as a team is far more than you could have ever been, mom and pop and killing yourself with the stomach ache on Friday for payroll, trying to make it. Let us come. Let us do all the things that are not your expertise, and let you be that fantastic developer. That's actually one of the projects we're working on now. I just literally walked through it. So those are the things I think folks are going to see, and I want to make sure that the guys know out there who are evaluating us, we did win the FAST award, but that was just planning, development, and getting ready to actually what I would call fast growth. Getting over 100 million in revenue is great. We're trending toward, was it 20 million net income this year? That's great. Man, we're not going to stop and throw a party. This is just the first inning of the business plan that we're building.
Just getting started, and a sports guy, which I love. There's so much you're saying there. That distribution network is so powerful. We see it with beverage companies all the time. I really like the fact that there's no overhead, there's no inventory investment, like you're saying, for these small business owners who also in a lot of situations can be stretched. And the other thing I really like is because of that huge position you have and investment you've made, like you said, you're completely aligned, both hands on the wheel with what's generating value for shareholders, Brian. So it's nice to hear. And on top of all that, as you joked, it's almost funny that in the micro and nano cap, people don't even look at the numbers, but you're making money, which also is rare to see and hear, which is awesome. So I know we've covered a lot in today's interview. It's obviously an exciting time. What are a few kind of future catalysts we should keep an eye on for people who maybe want to follow this story?
Yeah, sure. I think you're going to see one actually coming up in a couple of weeks. Another reason that I had my entire team into Memphis so we could have a little bit of a SurgePays summit was, part of our business plan was to roll out our own prepaid brand. We're taking payments, hundreds of millions of dollars over the past years for all the other companies out there. So it's awesome. It's like joining the SEC and getting to see all the other coaches' playbooks of what they're doing, their plans, what do they pay, what's the success rate of the plans, is it different per region? So we have a roadmap and a playbook of the entire country for prepaid wireless. So we're going to be plugging it. I'll give you an example like Walmart when they do Great Value Flakes next to Frosted Flakes. They know exactly, but you know what? They control the distribution. They control the shelf. They control all. So they make a whole lot more money than, in that mindset. So we're going to be rolling out our prepaid wireless brand. And what's really awesome, I think, going back to when MVNOs first popped up, 14, 15 years ago, I think we're going to have the most unique launch of a product for a couple of reasons. Number one, we control the distribution into the convenience store. Normally what happens is if I'm going to roll out, if you and I go start a wireless company tomorrow, we've got to go find a way to get it into stores. So we're going to pay a third-party fintech platform that's already doing transactions, and we're going to say, hey, we'll pay you 17%. And that with that 17%, that company will cover the sales guy, the store, and their keep. And that'll be what they make out of, putting the posters up, doing the transactions, ACH, keeping their piece, and then sending the rest to us, the MVNO. Well, with us, we own the platform. So we don't have to bake in that 15 to 20% that we're going to have to pay people to get that out there and entice them to do activations and payments. So we've already got that baked in. But what we're going to do, we're going to lower the price. We're going to pass that insane price savings along to the consumer. So, and the name of it's going to be Link Up Mobile. Link Up Mobile, we've got the brand. I was just signing off on the branding of the website yesterday. And so here's where it gets really interesting. Because we've got hundreds of thousands of subscribers already on the government subsidized piece, you and I would have also had to gone to T-Mobile and AT&T and knocked on the door and hoped that somebody came and answered like the speakeasy, and nobody would have answered. We were invited to things like the All-Star game to sit in the booths with these guys now. You know, we actually have a voice with these guys, so we've got tremendous buying power into the millions of dollars a month with AT&T and T-Mobile. We use their network. You know, it's our product. Customer only sees us, but we use their towers and their network. So we already had this massive buying power on day one. The next thing you and I would have to do is go get a software platform to manage the customers and do the billing and the rating and all that. We bought that last year. You know, we paid, I think, 800 grand cash to buy one of the top three activation and CRM management platforms for wireless companies. There again, we had the money, so we just used it. We didn't, you know, we didn't dilute shareholders and get into all that chaos of, you know, tendering over our stock. We used cash. Paid for it out the door. So we have that, and we've had our developers working on that now for over a year in preparation for this launch. So I think big catalyst there, because you're going to see the similar margins to our government subsidized wireless. But what's cool is the government subsidized wireless, or ACP, is limited one per household. And there's a compliance component where you already have to be on food stamps or, you know, Section 8 or another government benefit to qualify. With this, hey, we know that every one of these households has 3 to 5 other prepaid cell phones in the house. I want those. So now if you think about it, we've used ACP to get our platform in the store. Now we bring over, and I've got a 10-inch LCD customer-facing display, who every time a customer walks in, it sees that little trigger of a person pop up, just like some of the gas pumps now. When you know, it starts the ad. Well, this will start the ad. Hey, unlimited talk text, $25 a month. You know, ask here, pay here. Man, we've got that most valuable real estate in the store, right there at the cash register, to promote our products. So now I think you're going to see everything kind of coming together, you know, and you're going to see a streamlined message from me. You're going to see one of the things that I directed our CFO and we've been working through is streamlining our financials, because we have been a conglomerate of, you know, the last 5 years of getting it done, you know, 13 subsidiaries. Now all of that's going to be distilled down to match exactly what I talk about. The naming conventions of the companies and the financials will match what I talk about. The website will match it. The deck will match it. The management commentary in our filings will match it. So we're going to try to do everything we can to make SurgePays a very easy dopamine push buy button for folks, whether it's a regular guy like me or a complicated, you know, really smart analyst, portfolio manager like I talk to, you know, all the time now. We want to give them reasons why they should see, you know, look, last 5 years, we've proven we're custodians of money. Was it 3 years ago, we lost 10 million. We just made 7 million in 90 days. We know what we're doing. There is a strategic plan, and we look to continue that trajectory.
Yeah, the plan coming together. It's great to hear. It's great to see the enthusiasm. It's contagious, Brian. And we look forward to following the story of Link Up as it launches here. And we look forward to having you back. So for guys who are still watching the channel at this point, hopefully you got some value. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Brian, I'll kick it back to you for some closing thoughts. And we really appreciate your time today.
No, hey, I appreciate you. And I think, you know, you said something interesting. We do bring a lot of energy. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to surround myself with a lot of folks just like me. You know, we're passionate about what we're doing. We're excited about what we're doing. And again, I can't stress enough, we are making money. And every dollar we make is actually a direct reflection of helping someone. And you talk about connectivity. Absolutely, connectivity is important at a time where, you know, our healthcare, education, and employment, and basically our life pretty much, unfortunately, or better or for worse, is all funneling through being connected to the internet. We definitely want everyone who's here in the United States to be connected and be fruitful members of society, because that will lift all of us up. So, hey, that's our mission, and we're doing it at a grassroots level. So, man, I really appreciate you having me on. It was great to be here, and I look forward to coming back.
Sounds like a plan. We'll talk to you soon, Brian.
Thanks, sir.